Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of The Dark Hustle. Thank you so much for listening to my podcast and subscribing and following us. It's super cool. You guys are the best. Also, if you are not a member of our Patreon, what are you doing? Go check it out. It's got multiple levels to choose from, and we have early access over there for all of our episodes and a bunch of other stuff. So go check us out on Patreon.
Hello?
Hi.
Hi.
Is this Kim?
Yes, ma'am.
We're good now. We eating dinner.
Yep, we're good.
Um,
We're
I
good,
just,
we're good.
well, yesterday I called you. We were going to do it yesterday, but that's
Yeah.
funny that you brought up the presidential debate because I caught glimpses of it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. That was a show and a half. A joke.
It really was. I mean, watching Biden has me worried.
Yep. He ain't faring too well.
No. Trump absolutely just murdered his ass.
Yep. Yep, he sure did.
um, Anyhow, you have actually lost quite a lot of weight because you're doing this. Aren't you seeing somebody that's helping you with it or no?
Oh, I have a coach if I need help, and I check in with her every week with the weigh-in and stuff, and it's been great because, if I have a question about something, she gets right back to you, it ain't drug on for hours or days. She's been a very good help.
Well, that's
But
good. That's
mainly I
awesome.
do it on my own, and it's easy, really, because I just order this food every month, and I eat that, and I make one lean and green meal a night and weigh my food out and go on.
Pretty
But,
cut and dry.
yeah, but, I eat every 2.5, 3 hours, too.
Yeah, well, no,
Sometimes
they say
that
that's good.
gets to be hard. Yeah, it gets to be hard when you're out working horses, though, because time flies and you don't realize, with the cutting, you sitting down in that pen, turning back and, helping people and learning. And, I may, oh my God, I'm way past my time.
Yeah. Well, and it's probably hard to have to eat during for me, it's hard for me to eat when it's hot outside because I get I'll get to feeling sick.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the only, but, you don't eat that much, so. But too, and when it's hot and I'm busy, like I'm not hungry, so you don't realize, hey, I need to go eat.
Yeah. Yeah. I see what you're saying. Well, okay, enough about that because, I love food. You have a beautiful stud that you have raised. You raised him from a baby, right?
Buster?
Yeah.
Nope, I bought him. We bought him as a long yearling.
Uh-huh. Tell me a
But
little
I
bit of how
say
you got him and how you got to find him.
I had put an ad on Facebook looking for a stallion with this criteria. It had to be panel clean, great conformation, good-minded, towel bred, and that's how I went about it, in color. And I had tons of replies, and I went through them, and I said, that's the one I want. So I went to my other half, and I was like, this is what I want, but it's going to cost some big duckies.
Yeah.
And so then we contacted Mr. Morgan out in Whitesboro, Texas, and started talking to him, and then I turned it over to him, and he did the dealing, and so now we own Buster.
How cool is that? You just kind of knew right off the deal that he was the one?
He was the one. I mean, I had everything, and it was supposed to have been quarter horse studs only. I had everything on there, but he just stood out to me. And I was looking at his papers like, this sucker's really bred very well. This is the one. This is the one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And,
So then,
the picture I seen him on, he was standing in the stall in the corner. That's what I bought. We bought him off that picture. And he got the deal worked, and we sent half the money out. And a couple weeks later, he went out and picked him up.
and you've had him
So
ever since.
he's been with us ever since, besides when he's gone to the trainer since he was 2, and he come back pretty much in December and been home, and I've been learning his buttons and learning to ride him on cattle and just having a blast with him.
Yes. Now, Trent Rhea is the one who has shown him for you, right? Or do you get to show him at all?
Well, when we started out, Jed Lawrence had him there for a while and showed him, and then we went, a couple years later, we went to Trent, and Trent made him the super horse and did all that. So
Yeah, 'cause he just won that.
Yep, he won that this year. He finished it up. And the super horse, they had to have 200 points in 7 different events.
Oh, wow.
And that was confirmation, ranch riding, ranch roping, ranch cutting, working ranch horse, ranch trails, and there's one more. I'd have to look on there and tell you what it is, but he's phenomenal. He's a great horse.
He has to be all around in order to accomplish that. Like, it's not just a set thing. He has to be able to do all of those things.
Yep, he has to go and do it all. I mean, he may go down the fence for the working ranch horse and then come back out and go do the ranch riding class. Or, or ranchmanship, pattern, trail, or go rope. He does it all, and he doesn't get hot. He stays great-minded.
Well, that's what I was getting at. That's probably a good selling point for you to be able to say that he can. I mean, that's not to knock any other stud that's kind of specific to what they do. That's great, but it's also great that he's able to jump from here and there and here and there and here and there to be able to do things at a high level. I mean, that's a good selling point for his babies.
Yeah. His oldest babies is just 2 of them that are 2-year-olds this year, so we're kind of waiting to see what are they going to do.
Right.
So
how long have you been standing him to the public?
Oh, we've been standing him to the public for a couple years now.
Yeah.
But it's very hard because we're not out in Texas. He's not at some famous trainers. He's not at a stallion station. It's very hard for the little person to stand a stud horse.
Yeah.
Even though he's bred is just as well. He's done a whole lot of stuff. But if you ain't got the big names behind you or the deep pockets, you're just kind of up the creek with no oar.
Well, that's not going to stop you, though. You're not one to...
No, ma'am, I'm not going to stop promoting him. I think he's the great horse, and he can produce probably as good as those studs out there. He's just got to get bred to the right mares, and people get those babies and get them going.
Yeah, because it's a lot of work. I mean, do you, obviously when he's not at the trainers, that's when you do collect him and you do all that kind of stuff at home?
Well, he stays down 10 minutes from us at a place, at a cutting barn, and so we're learning to cut now. I'm learning, and he's getting fine-tuned for cutting, but he may get to go breed today, and this in the morning and come home and ride later. I mean, we take him back and forth and get him collected when somebody needs semen.
Gotcha.
And he handles it all. I mean, he has the best mind. You wouldn't even realize he's a stud horse.
Yeah, I kind of get that vibe from him, but I mean, I haven't, been around him in person or anything like that,
Yeah.
but I can just kind of get that kind of feel from the pictures and the things that I've seen. So, and that's a good thing.
And it's like today when we worked cows and I was bringing horses back up, I pony horses off of him coming back up to the barn. I mean, how many stallions you can pony horses off of?
Yeah, this is true. Now, let me ask you this. What made you want to get into the stud part of the horse industry? Did you see yourself doing that? Was that your desire, your whole intention when you got him, or you just did it kind of come up?
My boyfriend and I had a couple brood mares, and he had bought this stud horse, and it didn't meet my criteria. I hated him. I thought he was the worst thing ever. So I'm like, he's got to go. So then we got Buster, and then we just have been building our broodmare herd, and then I was like, he's a nice horse. I think I should stand him to the public, So that's how it's went.
And then you just kind of took it from there.
Just been rolling with it ever since.
And how old is he?
He is 8. He is 8.
That's not bad at all. He's still got a lot. He's got a lot of years left.
He does.
He's young.
He's still a young buck.
And this whole time I thought he was older because I feel like I can feel his deposition a little bit. I feel like I can feel like how calm he is from looking at pictures and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I sense that from him, and that makes me feel like I added age to him, and it's not even right.
He's been that way ever since we've had him. He's been laid back, just like, okay, whatever.
Yeah. But he doesn't slow down inside of the pen because he won Super Horse, so.
No. He's got a motor, and when you ask for it, he'll give it to you now.
Yeah. Because there's a bunch of other things that he's won besides that, right?
He's won in the top, this year last year he finished top 3 in the Roan Horse Association. He's won a lot of charter awards. I have a whole living room of Buster memorabilia that he's won. And he's got, I don't know, about 10 belt buckles he's won. He's won money. We've won a whole lot. We haven't won a saddle yet, but we've won all kinds of nice prizes.
Well, most people like their own saddle that they buy anyways. Nothing's wrong with not winning one, but it's very rare people end up selling them.
He's been Stallion of the Year for multiple years in a row.
That's a pretty big accomplishment.
He's a 5-time world champion, 5-time reserve world champion.
Oh, wow.
Got AQH, VRHA points. He's done a whole lot in his short time of life, I guess.
Well, it's a big like you being a stud owner and kind of doing it all, both of you guys doing it all yourself. It's a huge investment to have to keep this horse on the road and in the shows and all of that kind of stuff, isn't it?
It's very expensive, very, very expensive. Because, to get him, people want to see him doing things all the time. So you always got to have him out there doing something to promote him.
Right.
And
now I know you ride him in the American Ranch Horse Association, but what other associations or like breed shows do you show him roan too?
Yep, we use the Roan Horse Association uses ARHA, like whatever he goes to ARHA show, they'll use his the weekend point things he gets and use it towards theirs for awards and stuff.
Oh, cool.
So that's what we do. And he goes to the VRHA show, quarter horse shows. He's been to some of them. He's been to Reining Cow Horse, which I plan to go. It may not be this year, but next year to go do some Reining Cow Horse stuff with him. And we definitely want to go to the cutting pen, but we got to fine-tune some things. We're not ready to go there yet. Because the real cutting and ranch horse cutting is totally different.
Explain this to me. So what makes it so different? That's interesting because I wouldn't have thought that.
Well, in the ranch stuff, you can pick your horse up and help him. It's not as precise as a cutter. They got to be correct.
Right.
They can't miss their stop. You pick that hand up, it's penalized. It's just
I
a
didn't
lot
know
more
that.
to. Yeah, it's a lot more to it. Even though he can cut, and he cuts, but he has to get fixed. I can't help him. When you put that hand down, he's got to do it all on his own.
Right. So they let you obviously pick up your hand, but are there other things that you can do that, make it different between like an NCHA show versus an ARHA show?
I think their penalties are different too. I'm just learning all this and trying to get it all figured out, and it's a lot to it.
Yeah.
I thought watching a lot of the ranch horse boys, I didn't know no difference. But if you go to a cutter and let them teach you and watch cutting, you were like, wow, they're not doing things correctly. But then, vice versa, it's a lot of eye opener I've learned in the short couple months I've been down there. They like, no, you can't do that. This is how it's done. And you got to stop square and hit your ends. And in the ranch horse, they bounce around and stuff, and it's just so much different.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see what you're saying now that you're saying it, because I haven't watched a lot of that like ranch horse cutting, but I have watched some like like what you would consider normal cutting,
Yeah.
And you are right. It is a lot more, I don't know if precise is the right word, but it is very like once you get in that stance of sitting on your horse and being a certain way, that's just the way it's got to go, and the horse does the rest. Versus ranch, you're telling me
different.
the people are a little more into it, I guess, or it's not as smooth.
It's not as critical as the cutter, the real cutters. It's not as.
Yeah.
And you set
different,
and I never knew that. You ride a cutting horse different. I mean, you set your posture is different, when you ride the dry stuff and, you set straight. Your posture is different. I mean, you're up and prim and proper, and then when you ride a cutter, your top of your body is pretty limber. You're riding off your legs and feet. Yeah, you ride on your hind pockets, and you go down across there and create that stop with the cow and let the cow draw you. It's just so much more to it, and you got to push that horn, which in ranch cutting you got to push the horn too. But I never realized all that. No one has taught me all that till now. You just
you're teaching me all kinds of stuff right now because I have no idea.
Yeah. It's night and day.
Now, is it different? Are there other parts of because ranch horse, it kind of includes a lot of other different disciplines within it. Like, like you have ranch cutting, then you have a little bit, don't you have a little bit of like, I know fence work is more like reined cow horse, but are there other things within the ranch that you're having to focus on?
There's boxing, but you just have the one cow you box.
Oh, wow.
And in ranch, too, they call what would be somewhat kind of equal to the cutting, but you could help your horse and everything. It's just where they call the herd work is what they call it. But at the ranch, cutting is where you cut a cow, and then you got to pin it down there. Pin it in the pin. That's what they call it. Cutting. The herd work is more like the cutting, but
that we know as normal cutting.
yeah.
I did not know this. Now, what does the boxing consist of?
It's where they kick a cow out to you and you create stops, and I don't really know all the rules to that either, because, when I went to this horse shows, I'd ranch rail and halter or confirmation. That's what I did, because I just didn't do the cattle stuff then.
Right. That's where Trent came in.
That's where Trent did all that.
Now, Trent's been riding for a long time, right?
Trent's been riding for a long time.
Very cool. And you've had him there for a while?
A couple years. And from Buster was time he was 2 to coming 2 to 5, he was with Jed Lawrence.
Yeah.
Well, we took him from there and sent him to Trent.
And he blossomed.
Exactly.
Well, that's a good thing. I mean, that's what you want.
Well, he had to get fixed. He didn't know how to ride one-handed. He would run off with you, and it's because he was scared. And he had to learn to ride one-handed. But Trent made him the horse he is today.
Well, it's good to know that. I think it's good to know that you can take a horse from one situation that didn't turn out too well and find somebody who can turn it into a better situation for you, because, that's got to be a hard decision to make, because, you got to trust what people are telling you. You could have given up on him, but you didn't. You didn't give up on your horse. And it's a good thing you didn't,
because we knew the talent was there.
Yeah.
You just needed a jockey that was going to do their job.
Yeah. Yeah. And not every horse and rider mix, not every horse and trainer mix, that's understandable. That's like normal. But it is a good thing that you believed in him, in your horse.
Yeah, I knew.
Because
I didn't give up on him.
some people would have taken that and been like, all right, you know what, this ain't working. Let's, quit it, sell him, or find something else for him to do, and then you would be where you're at now.
Yep, you're exactly right. And, I think Trent every day, he believed he had to fix all that stuff, and he did great. And if it wasn't for him, this horse would not have been fun to ride, because I didn't know how to fix it.
Right.
And I knew he could be. He was great-minded. Luckily, he didn't get his mind blown up.
Yeah, because that can be easy to do in the horse world if you're not careful, and the wrong horse, the wrong situation. It can be easy to do. I mean, like I told you when we talked last time, my little mare that I happen to have, nothing special or anything she was to me, but, when she got like green broke, we used to just call it green broke, just to a saddle, have somebody, put a saddle on her and break her to the saddle. Before she went there, we could do X, Y, and Z. When she came back, we couldn't do X, Y, and Z. So she never went back to that person again. Obviously some things went down with that, but the whole point of what I'm saying is, you don't never know till you do it. It's hard to know if you're making a good decision or not sometimes in those types of situations.
You don't know, but and this thing, the first trip there, things wasn't adding up, and I had 1, 2, 3, 4 horses there, 4 horses there, and all of them were coming back scared. not riding like they supposed to, and you send them to a veterinary and they couldn't trot a straight line. They're rearing up, and it's time. Somebody's not doing what they're supposed to do, so it's time to move on.
Yeah, yeah. No,
So,
I agree 110%.
so we pulled all of them. So, and I wasn't going to spend the money because I already spent a ton. I wasn't spending the money to restart every one of them. So, a bunch of them are over here in the broodmare herd. They had purpose. They're mares. I can make broodmares out of them.
Right.
But
Now,
the bad part is it's sad because you spend all that money. And when you live so far away and can't go there all the time to see what's going on, that makes it hard too.
I can imagine that right there would be hard because, again, me growing up, what we did was nothing compared to what, a lot of other people do, but we obviously didn't ever do the whole send a horse to a trainer thing after that. It was like, okay, if you want to, my parents were like, if you want to do this and do good at it or do whatever you want to do with it, you're going to have to figure it out on your own. So I was lucky enough to, figure it out on my own, but that's tough to not be able to just kind of pop up because, like I was talking to, another episode about this, these trainers and barns, they kind of have people's babies, These animals mean a lot to people.
Yeah, they do. And, I worked my butt off to make sure I had money to get that monthly bill paid. And, you would think you will do a good job. I'd want to do a good job for somebody, not just to take their money.
Right. Yeah. Work ethic is hard to find these days, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But he has been on the mend and brought back up, and it's a good thing that you believed in him and stayed with him because, like I said a minute ago, you could have easily just said, you know what, this ain't the deal, this ain't working, but you stuck with him, and it was a good thing. I mean,
Yep,
he's
I
going up
stuck
from
with
here.
him. Yeah, I just believed in him, and he's always been my heart horse. I love all my horses, but he's my go-to horse. If my boyfriend said you could only have one horse, who would it be? It would be Buster.
I can sense that from your posts, though. You can feel the
Yeah.
love in your posts when you post about him and stuff, and I think that's cool.
And he just, he'll follow me around like a puppy dog. I don't even have to have a lead rope in here. He'll come right along with you. It's like he's bonded to me and I'm bonded to him.
No. Well, I mean, I think you got to have a set. That's kind of cool that you have that, because as with anything, when you make it a business, like, I've talked about it before and other people have talked about it, you got to take your emotions out of it. But it's cool that you do have that aspect in it because you do have to care in order to be successful at it and to stay at it and to have a passion for it,
Yeah, you're exactly right. You do have to care. And I do care about him, and I pamper him. He gets taken very well care of down there, but I'm also there every chance I get. I'm there, and he gets his tail done up every other day or so, and I put stuff in it, and he gets stuff for his coat condition. He's pampered.
As he should be.
He is. He's special to me. He's like a kid to me. And my boyfriend, he'll tell you, I love that darn horse more than I love him. He tells everybody that. She loves that horse more than me.
I think that's a rule for dating cowgirls that men have to accept, that she's going to love her horse and her dog more than she will you.
Yeah. But that horse makes me happy, and and I'll come home just telling him all about what we done, and when I just have the biggest smile, and I'm just having a lot of fun with him.
Yeah. Well, it's cool that you get to learn with him. That's really cool that you get to do that because, a lot of people just kind of send them off, which nothing's wrong with that. That is what it is, but it's cool that you are being a part of it and taking your time with it.
Yeah. I mean, I did ride him some at the shows, like the ranch ride and stuff, and, I just hopped on him at the shows and got to ride him. I didn't really know him, or I knew him, but I didn't know his buttons that they had put on him. It was like I was a catch rider. But now, since he's been home and I get to go ride him several times a week, wow, it's like riding the Cadillac. He's just so broke. I said, I'm going to make a video of me riding him with no bridle. I ain't got
You
it
should
done
do
yet.
that.
I'm going to do it, but he's just so broke and so much fun to ride now.
He's going to spoil you as your first stud, and then your next stud horse is going to be like a wild child.
Yeah, it's like I told Tom, I probably don't want to own no more because it might not be like Buster.
Oh, I can understand exactly how you feel. Once you had the best, nothing else kind of.
Yeah, you get spoiled, and I think all of them should be that way, and I know better.
But now, how did you hook up with Trent? How did you get to that part? Because, when you decided that, he needed to leave the Lawrences and wasn't working out there, what did you just take a break to kind of figure out what you wanted to do, or did Trent just kind of fall in your lap, or how did that happen?
Well, I've seen Trent at the ARHA shows, and I watch them to other trainers to see how they interact and how they do with their horses. And Trent was always kind-handed, just very personable. I always seen him treat his horses good. Always heard good things. So I said, well, and he was always nice to speak to you no matter what. He didn't really know me, but if I pass him, he's always speaking,
Yeah.
And I said, well, he's closer. Let me try him. And it was a good move.
That's good. It's always for me. It's like when I come out of kind of a bad deal that didn't work out, I'm always like apprehensive to go into another one. I'm like, okay, don't let this happen again, And
Yeah.
so it's cool that worked out good for you.
And Trent, he doesn't horse train for his main business. He has a septic business, him and his wife run. And so he only has a handful of horses that he picks to take. So that made it even better. So, he wasn't getting overloaded. Wasn't getting overloaded where he couldn't work more than, he had time for.
Yeah, and that probably makes you feel a little better too, because the reality of how many hours in a day and what it takes. That's cool.
Yeah. Yep.
And you can go see him. He's close to you, right?
Yeah, he was only 5 hours from me, but they would send me videos and stuff, and I just loved it. And and I still think of Trent and Monica as family. I mean, they just good people.
Yeah.
I mean, Trent, we brought him home because Trent was going to have his shoulder operated on. He just had that done, shoulder replacement. But, if I still wanted to show ARHA and a lot, I'd give him back to Trent if that's the route I was going to go.
Yeah. Now, what are you going to stick to just the ranch shows? And obviously I know you're getting into cutting and you're going to do Rain Cow Horse, but are there any other things that you want to have him do in the future, or just kind of see where he goes, the horse takes you?
I'm going to see where it takes us. I'm just going to ride the wave and see.
Yeah.
See where we fit in best. And we may dabble here, dabble there. I don't have no set plans. It'd be like, I'd like to go and put more money earnings on him. So, that's kind of what we want to do. But I'm I'm not in no hurry to really go because we done a lot of showing since he was 2, and it's kind of nice to have a little break from running up and down the road so much.
Yeah. Well, I can
So
see that.
we're just kind of this year learning curve, and I'm planning on going to a couple shows sometime here this year, but I don't know when.
Now, did you grow up around horses, or did you?
I did. I grew up riding, and I went to a riding school, and I rode little ornery ponies, horses off the track for the, as kids they put us on all that. You have no fear then, no fear.
Mm-hmm.
And I just love to ride. And then I showed 4-H, and then I did some of the Western Pleasure World and decided, that ain't for me. And then I team pin and sorted for a while. And then I wanted to do the ranch stuff, and then here I am. So I've been doing horses all my life.
I swear, everybody, it's like horse people are either they grew up 4-H and they grew up around it, or they had nothing to do it and then they just decided to get into it because they loved them or something of that nature. It's like 4-H is the first step to pretty much anything with horses. It's like a 50-50 ordeal.
Yep, it is. It's how I got my start. And I'll never forget the first horse I showed was Appaloosa named Navajo Reed. He was the ugliest thing, but that's what I learned on there, and that's what I showed first. But he taught
Was it a
me
mini
a
pony?
lot.
Was it a pony or a horse?
It was a horse. His name was
We started
Navajo
on the
Reed.
mini pony.
Yeah. I did have ponies growing up, though. I had a Chinkatink pony. That thing was mean as tomorrow comes along.
We
Stay
legit,
long.
this little mini pony's name was Morning Star. I will never forget it. I started on her, and my sister did too. She was at a barn that everybody went to if you were going to get into horses around here. And I swear that pony probably carried so many people. And she was a little, I don't remember if she had a dorsal stripe or not. So she was either dun or a buckskin. So I don't remember if she had a stripe or not. But she was mini. She was little. And then we moved up to a pony, which I think everybody has seen or met a horse named Patches that was a paint pony. So we had a paint pony named Patches, and that thing, he was hilarious. He wasn't mean, but he had his own little personality.
Yeah. Probably everybody had a Patches and a Misty.
Misty, yes, that's a pretty popular name too.
Yeah, Misty from the Chinkatink pony, Misty.
Yes, that's it. And so I can't believe that you started off on Appaloosa. I used to show Appaloosa ages ago, and my dad did and my cousin did.
Yep, that's what they started me on, and I'll never forget it. I probably have a picture around here somewhere, or my mom
And
dad.
then, where'd you go to after that?
After the 4-H, and then I went to the dabbled in the
No, I mean
pleasure
horses. No, I mean horses. After your first horse, do you remember your next horse, or did you just
the next
ride
horse
whatever?
the next horse I got, his name was Play Boy, and the lambs had the riding school teach all this and took us to horse shows and ran the 4-H club. They had people donate horses to him, and that's how I got him. And I rode him for years. So that was the next one. And then I had a Chinkatink pony that my parents bought me from a preacher that was supposed to have been broke. Well, that wasn't the story when we got him home.
This sounds interesting. So what happened with this pony?
Well, this pony got to where he'd come at you and bite you and want to kick you, and I'd gone to school one day and come back home. The pony was missing.
Oh, God. Oh, no. What did you...
It's because my dad got rid of him.
Oh. So this little
Yep.
devil's got to go.
He didn't want us to get hurt. He wanted me to get hurt, so.
Yeah. No. I don't blame you one bit either. I mean, that's like that meme that went around for a while talking about your kid's this way or that way. It really don't matter what your kid is. If you're a decent parent, you're not going to put them on something that's going to hurt them. So.
Nope. Nope.
That's how we thought about it. I mean, it doesn't matter if your kid can cowboy or not. Do you really want them on something they're going to have to cowboy on to begin with? I mean, don't you want them on something pretty dead broke?
Yeah, you want something that's kid broke, not bronc broke.
Right. We had this horse named Etta. She was what they call like a cut and reject, and she oh my God, that horse was a saint. She was like a mom, honestly, like a grandmother. I mean, she would babysit people for you, and just like she was one of those very rare ones that you honestly did not have to worry about. And it was sad when she passed, but those are far and few between. I mean, just like what you said a minute ago, especially now in the horse industry, it's probably more heightened since more people want to get into it, but you have to be worried about what you're buying now. It's scary. People will literally sell you anything and not care if your kid's going to get hurt or if, you're going to put somebody elderly on it or something of that nature. That's scary.
Yeah, it is. And, sometimes we have mares that don't work here, and we will, as a brood mare, and we'll ride them and turn them into trail horses. And it may take a while to get them to broke like we like them to be a trail horse. And once we get them to that point, if somebody wants to come buy it, we make them go on a trail ride with us to see that this is what the horse is. And if you won't come do that, we will not sell you that horse.
Yeah, can't blame you there.
We're like, you're going to come ride, let us show you, see if you get along with the horse, We just want them to be happy and come back,
Yeah, and not have any problems.
Not having problems. And it's just like the babies, the weanlings we will sell. They're all halter broke. They load. They pick their feet up. They tie. They have a great start. It's, you just got to continue on with it when it leaves me. And if you don't, I don't have no control over that. But at least you're not buying a wild hooligan when it leaves me.
Right. Well, it is kind of...
Take pride into this stuff.
Yeah.
We take a lot of pride into our breeding program and what we do and handle these foals. And people are like, well, you got a stallion. Why ain't you breeding all them mares to him or your other stallion? Well, I breed other mares to outside stallions to try to get fillies to bring along from one day to help, to cross with him, but I ain't having too much good luck with that. I'm getting stud colts born.
Oh. She said, I need some girls.
I need some girls, so once I use up what I got, I'm just going to breed everything to him because I'm getting stud colts mainly anyway, so I could just sell that and save my money. And then maybe find something along the way that I can afford to buy for him to breed to him one day.
Yeah, because you do sell some babies there, right? And
I do.
Okay, that's what I thought. But you are also trying to get to the point to where you want to grow that more than what it is already now.
Yep, we would like to grow it more. So much more, but not more than the two of us can handle.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of work. I mean, and how many horses you guys got there now?
We have about 20 horses,
Good
And,
Lord.
it's counting all the brood mares, riding horses, babies, the studs and everything. We got about 20.
How does he, do you let him out with everybody else or no?
No, he goes out by himself.
I kind of figured he might did, but I didn't know. I mean, some people.
Nope, he just goes out, and they'll turn him out in the field. He's one field, and sometimes they turn him out, got cows in it. Sometimes he goes down to a round pen and gets turned out. But he gets turned out to be a horse. He just don't stay in the stall all the time.
You have to do that for sure. That reminds me of this barn that I grew up going to when I was super young, and they had like 2 stud horses there, and I remember one seemed real calm, real cool, real like, chill. You could kind of like pet him, you could walk up to him and stuff, and then there was another one and named Gray Ghost was his name. And I'll never forget it. It was like you steered clear from that stall. I never saw him out. I never saw him around anything or like anybody leading him. It was like he was always in this stall, and he was always yelling and always moving and always doing something. And it was like this scary stall when I was growing up, like stay away from that. I think a lot of people have that image of studs being that way, but I think that's starting to get fixed a little bit as far as the general public and people in the horse industry. They're not really that scary. You can handle them if you know what you're doing. They're not like something that you can't have.
What's so special about Buster? He just acts like a gelding to. He knows when we take him to the vet to get collected. He knows what he's there for. But like at the barn he stays at now, he's got geldings beside him, and he hangs his head over the door, and the geldings can touch noses. I mean, he can touch noses. You wouldn't even know he's a stud horse. And the mares walk by him. He don't squeal or nothing. I mean, he just hangs out like a regular horse. And he's treated like a regular horse.
He said, I'm just chilling, Mom, hanging out with my peeps.
Yeah, and when he was at Trent's, Trent's youth riders would ride him. I mean, he's not too many are like that.
Yeah, no, that speaks volumes.
Yeah, I mean, he could stay behind, what is those stall guards,
Mm-hmm.
He stayed down here where he is now behind those too. I mean, just hanging out, just like, not the top door shut, not the bottom door shut, I mean, they shut them at night because on every horse, because they don't leave them open all night. But during the day, they're open. I mean, he's just getting to be a horse. He's not treated no different than any other horse because he's a stud horse.
Yeah. Now, what all are the, I think I asked this before, what associations and clubs is he registered at?
He's an American Ranch horse. He's in the Roan horse. Yeah, he was with the Reigning Cow horse, but we ain't redone that because we haven't been, so I haven't renewed the membership there.
Yeah.
We may, we want to go do this cutting, but I'm not sure when we're ready. I was planning on going to some of these backyard shows, but when they asked and I asked questions about it, and they said, are you going to bring the stud horse? Well, yes. Then all of a sudden you see in the rules, no stallions. So, yeah. Well, they just don't want to show against them. I'm not going there to whack show. I'm going there to have fun with my horse.
Yeah. But, I mean, he's a quarter horse.
He is a quarter horse. He's got those papers.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, that's what I was thinking, but I wasn't quite sure. Are you planning to go to Congress any?
I'm not sure. I want to go qualify for the AQHA Versatility Ranch Horse. Their championship show, which is, I think it was last week that went on. I do want to qualify him for that
That
next
would be fun.
year. Yeah. Go try that.
I think he would be good at that.
He probably would. He's already got points in that, so I would say we could just go on and build on that, get more.
It'll be good to get him to a different environment and a different type of show, but still have the same, you know, examples and same disciplines and stuff that he's used to doing. So that'll be really good for him. And then is he a part of any incentives or?
No.
No.
No. Mm-mm. Not, you mean as is he eligible to go win money, like
Right.
and
Yeah.
prepared to things? No, that they never nominated him to anything. But I had put him into some things for his babies to be eligible to go win money.
Oh, so his babies are enrolled. I think I said that wrong.
Yeah, his babies will be able to go showing their fraternities to be eligible to win money.
Well, that's an even bigger price point to bring to him.
I just try everything to promote this horse. I mean, he has a page, had a page in the journal for this year's breeding. We did that, and we've took out all kind of ads and just trying to promote him.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I think that looked good, and I think did you get a return on that?
Yeah, we got some breedings from it, actually.
That's good.
We had good luck with that.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's really good. I mean, like you just said, you're in no rush, so just take your time going on where you're going to go and the direction that you want to take him, because, I mean, he's solid.
He is solid, and I want to ram jam him in the first couple years, and then you don't have a horse later to ride because they're broke down. He hasn't been ram jammed, but he's still got a lot of show life if that's, we want to do.
Oh, yeah, he does. I mean, of course he is. 8's young. And, well, and you enjoy him. Y'all are, like you just said, he's your heart horse. It's kind of a little different. It's not like he's a business plan for you. It's a little more special for you, which makes it even more special for anybody that does breed to him.
Yeah. He's part of the family. He's like a family member. He's not just a horse,
Yeah.
I told my boyfriend Tommy, I said, something ever happened to that horse, I'd be so devastated. I always tease him, I'm going to have him stuffed and put on wheels.
Bubble wrap him.
Yeah. That's what I tell him.
I understand how you feel. I mean, there's a reason why I can't get into the whole buy and sell ordeal, because I would get way too attached. Like, I would be too emotionally involved if it comes to animals.
It's hard. It is hard, especially you work with them every day and see them, and sometimes you get a vibe that this horse ain't a match, and I just won't sell somebody I don't think it's a good match, because if they ain't a match, they're not going to be happy, and if they're not happy, they may not treat the horse right.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I understand completely. I mean, and then that falls on your shoulders and in your heart.
Yep, and I worry, they worry about them.
Yeah, make sure somebody's taking good care of them.
Yep. You get attached to them very easily when you see them day in and out, and you fool with them. They become a part of you.
Yeah, yeah. Now, are there particular things that that you give him to keep him up to speed? Are there any types of grains, feeds, or supplements that you like to use?
Well, he gets the alfalfa hay, and he gets the basic equine health, the gut pellets to prevent ulcers. He gets that, and he gets this oil. pure gold oil. He gets that, which has a lot of vitamins and stuff in it. It has a lot of benefits. But other than that, he's pretty easy keeper.
Well, that's even better. I know
He
some people.
hasn't, a bunch of. We did have him injected this year, just for a maintenance thing. Not because he wasn't sound or wasn't holding up. It's just to prevent him getting sore and keeping him sound. But other than that, he's been 100%. He's a very strong horse when on a cow. I mean, you can just feel the power. He just works off his rear end. I'm not sure how to describe it. It's a lot of fun. He just takes you with him. You know how a bunch of horses are kind of choppy riding, don't take you with them when they go with the cow? He just takes you with him.
It's like he just kind of takes control, and you feel like you can trust him.
Yeah, he just takes you right. He's not leaving you out there to hang. He just takes you right along.
Yeah. Well, that's a good thing. I mean, to be able to feel that and get that, that's a really good thing. What do you, let's say somebody wanted to what's one of the hardest things that you've had to deal with when getting into the stud industry and or marketing him, that part of the horse industry? What's been probably the hardest thing for you to have to deal with?
The people. We ship a lot of semen, and if the mare owners, technician don't know what they're doing, the mare's not going to get in foal, so then you get the mare owner calling you and wanting to know what's wrong with your stallion semen because their mare's not in foal. And, if you don't have a technician knows what they're doing, it's not going to happen. And it's all about timing and that person really knowing what they're doing.
Yeah.
But I see it all the time. I'm dealing with it all the time, and it's like, we got mares in foal, and our vet keeps a sample back when he ships because, more and less, they're going to call, hey, it's looking great on this end still. What are you doing? When it leaves me, I don't have no control over it.
Yeah.
And you don't realize how many people get nasty.
Yeah. The general public can be hard to deal with sometimes, right? You got to work with what you got here.
Yeah. But it's a lot of running up and down the road and dealing with people, and as you know, it's not easy sometimes. Sometimes you just want to scream and pull your hair out and say, I'll just breed my own mares and not deal with the people. They can buy his babies.
Yeah,
and
it can.
Days,
I think
there's days that I feel like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's any decent human being with feelings and emotions. Dealing with the public can be overwhelming, and just working for yourself can be overwhelming, and trying to make sure you get to this person and you're nice to this person and you help this person. It can be overwhelming to have to try to handle all of that kind of stuff, and I get it. Trust me, I totally get it.
You're just trying to accommodate everybody,
Yeah, it is a lot.
But I do it because we love it. We want you to have great buster babies, enjoy them as much as we enjoy him.
Yeah, I'm looking at all of his kind of stuff right now. I'm looking at a couple of videos he's got. He's pretty, and he's pretty under saddle, too.
Oh yeah, he's gorgeous and he's made right. He's pretty flawless.
He's your baby.
He's my baby.
Well, Trent and you have done a fabulous job with him. He looks amazing, and I see all of the accomplishments that, Trent has helped you with, and it's really cool that you're learning on him and doing it with him. That's even a cooler story that you guys are doing it together, and it's not like you're just walking it's not like you're walking into a stallion station or a place and going, okay, well, I'm just going to pre-order my foal and I want it to be this, this, and this. This is a lot of sentimental value to you, so that makes it even cooler.
Yeah, we picked him out, like I said, as a long yearling. We sent him off, and that didn't pan. And then we sent him to Trent, and that was what made him. And Trent finished him out as the super ranch horse, and that's the highest award that he could get. So, and then we bought him home, and now I've enjoyed him, and he's just so broke he can go and be an amateur horse now.
Yeah.
And he could go back to an open horse, if we wanted to. Trent gets well, and we decide to go do more open stuff with him. He's going to have to share him. But he's always been that special horse.
Well, he does have quite a few babies on the ground, though. I'm looking at some back in January. He's been putting some babies out.
He's got some babies, and they're all colored but one. He's only got one chestnut baby. The rest of them are all colored, roans, buckskins, blue roans. So, very proud.
Ain't nothing wrong with a chestnut.
No, there ain't nothing wrong with the chestnut, but there's so many. Chestnuts are more hard to sell, but, I like a pretty chestnut, so I don't care, really, as long as it's a good horse.
Yeah, no, people joke about that a lot because I'll never forget it. This one guy told me, he said, people buy color. And it's true because they do. They buy the color.
True.
And it does leave a lot of horses out there, great horses, amazing horses out there available just because people overlook them because they think they're plain. But, everything's going to come like full circle with stuff like that. It's just like the outfits, they'll change to where everybody ends up having the same thing, so then you need to have something different. And that one thing that you think is plain or nobody likes is going to be the thing that's going to be different, and it just keeps coming back around. It keeps, going after so many years. So, but I always think it's funny too, because to me, I just look at the horse. I'm like, okay, well, I don't really care what color it is.
If the horse can do what I want it to do, great-minded and does it, I don't care.
Yeah. But it is cool that he throws a lot of color. So,
yeah,
well, I'm super excited for you.
He throws a lot, and he throws that little cute head and neck that he's got, and he just stamps them. They all pretty much look alike, which is great in a stallion. They're supposed to.
Yeah. Yeah, because he's done really well in the confirmation and halter classes, right?
Oh, yeah. He's got several championships. He's just, it's like, I guess we won't win this year because we're not going to the World this year. We decided to opt out, but he's won that thing for years.
Well, like they say, you have to have good confirmation for them to do the things that you want them to do. If they can't physically do it correctly, so that's the even more plus for him that he
can
built
do it
like
all.
he's built.
He's built like that, and he's he's not a big tall horse. He's a small horse, but he's fast. He's very athletic. I don't know. I'm sure he'd get around better than a great big horse, for what he does.
Yeah, I know. That's funny that you brought that up because cutters and reiners tend to be a lot shorter than other horses because they need to be in order to do their job. You know, they're bred to be that way.
Yeah, and it's like sometimes you go to these ranch shows. I'll never forget this one guy said, well, he's little. He may be little to your standards, but he's getting the job done.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah. I mean, you know,
He has
what,
nothing to prove to any of them really no more. I mean, he's proved himself, but this is like, you have no idea. You're a new one with a new card. You have no idea what this horse can do. But to say something like that, you know? I guess he
well,
was
they
used
probably
to
just,
them big ones.
yeah, and probably just don't even know the difference. Don't even know, you know? I mean,
Yeah.
your average person probably thinks, okay, well, it's a horse, well, they can do this, this, and this, and this, and this, not knowing that it goes a little deeper than that. You know, you can't take a cutting horse out and do a 3-day event with them, or fox hunting with them, or dressage with them.
No.
You know, like, you know, they're built and bred to do different jobs and different things. Most people just don't know that. You know, you just tell the average person, hey, I got a horse. They probably think that they can do everything that horses do, you know?
You know, in today's horse world, everything has become, how you say it, it's bred to do one thing, each
Oh,
thing,
yeah.
you know. And I'm lucky with Buster because he's bred very well top and bottom, and he's so much all around. He can go do all of that. But it's like some of these quarter horse breeds, the cow breeds, I mean, they can't do nothing but go cut a cow. They just so wired for that. I mean, my little Bubbles mare out here, she's so wired just to cut a cow. If you wanted to go trail riding, you're not going to go take her. I guarantee you it'd be the worst time you ever had because she's just so wired, she don't miss nothing.
Some of them are like that. I had a chestnut mare that was like that. I'm pretty sure I was riding her wrong, but she, no, she was just real. I want to say wired up, but she really wasn't wired up. She was just a little. She needed a job, and I didn't give her a job, so I had to sacrifice a little bit every time we would go trail riding, or we would do sorting very rarely. But she needed a job, and I didn't give her a job. I was used to being on a horse that was real kind of chill and not wired and not very, very push button. So, but I get what I'm saying is I get what you're saying. Sorry.
Yeah, but in the pen, she's all business. Greatest horse to ride, but outside that pen, no fun.
Right. And it's good that you know that, though, that I think some people kind of look over the fact that horses can have personalities just like people and have things they are good at and not good at just like people. Just because one mare isn't really good with, whatever, like you just said, not good at trail riding, doesn't mean she's a bad horse at all. You could turn around and put her in a pen, like you just said, she'll hit a lick.
Yeah, I would put my grandmother on her. But you go outside that pen to go down the trail, no. No fun. And it's just amazing how they know inside the pen, that's their comfort and that's where they go to work. But outside of there, it's just like they're out of their comfort zone. And it's like, nope, I'm not having none of this. I just, a busy bee.
Well, I am very excited for you and Buster and Trent. I think you guys are doing great, and I think it's cool to, hear your story, kind of how you got him and why you're doing what you're doing. So thank you for taking the time to talk to me. That's really cool.